Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into Ethereum's absolutely massive plan to scale for the next billion users. This isn't science fiction. It's the roadmap for 2025 and 2026, and it's happening right now.
So, this is the big one, right? It's the central challenge every single major network is wrestling with. How do you balance speed, cost, and security? Well, Ethereum thinks it has finally cracked the code, and they've got a detailed blueprint to prove it.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty tech, you have to see this. This chart shows Ethereum's ultimate secret weapon. It's not code, it's people. I mean, look at that, almost 32,000 active developers. That absolutely dwarfs everyone else. This isn't just a number, it's a force multiplier, an engine for innovation that just keeps pulling in more talent and more value.
Okay, so you've got this giant community of brilliant people. What's the core problem they've been trying to solve for years? Let's get into it.
For the longest time, this has been the fundamental trade-off. You could get lightning-fast transactions, or you could have that rock-solid security, but getting both at the same time seemed impossible. And that's exactly what led to those painfully high gas fees, and the network grinding to a halt during busy times. I'm sure you remember that.
So how did Ethereum finally break out of that trap? The answer is actually pretty elegant. It's not about making one single chain do everything. Let's take a look at the master plan.
The key idea here is that Ethereum went modular. So think of the main network, the L1, as this incredibly secure central highway. It's built for security, not necessarily for speed. Then you have the layer 2s, which are like thousands of high-speed express lanes built right on top. They handle all the traffic, super fast and super cheap, but they still get their security from that main highway. Best of both worlds.
Now, this whole blueprint isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. Nope. It is being built and shipped right now through a series of really carefully planned network upgrades. Each one is a major step forward.
And this timeline just lays it all out perfectly. You can see these three massive upgrades, Pectra, Fusaka, and Glamsterdam, all lined up to completely transform the network's power in just over a year. Let's break down what each one actually does.
First up, we had Pectra, back in May of 2025. This one was all about making life easier for users. It brought in something called account abstraction, which is really just a fancy way of saying it makes your crypto wallet way smarter. Think things like having someone else pay your transaction fee or paying fees in different tokens. It also doubled the data space for layer 2s, which was the first step toward getting those costs down.
Then, at the end of 2025, Fusaka drops, and this one was a huge leap forward. It introduced a technology called PeerDAS, which basically supercharged the network's data capacity by more than 8 times. And what did that do? It directly slashed transaction costs for everyone using those Layer 2 express lanes we talked about, a massive win.
And looking ahead to 2026, we have Glamsterdam. This upgrade is all about optimizing the network for the long run. It's introducing something called Verkle trees, a new data structure that makes it way easier for regular people to run a node on basic hardware. This is huge for decentralization and really prepares the network for true global-scale adoption.
Okay, so that's the tech. It's really impressive stuff. But what does it all actually mean for you, for developers, for the future of, well, everything? Why should you care?
This slide nails the before and after picture. We are moving away from a network that was sometimes a victim of its own success, clogged up and expensive, to a global settlement layer that is genuinely ready for mainstream, everyday use by anyone and everyone.
So really, the whole point of all these complex technical upgrades boils down to something incredibly simple. It's going to have a direct, positive impact on your wallet. The goal is to make using Ethereum so cheap you don't even have to think about the cost.
And when we say cheap, we mean it. We're talking about transaction fees dropping to less than a single cent on these Layer 2s. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. It unlocks a whole new world of things you can build.
And at that price point, suddenly a whole universe of apps becomes practical. We're talking complex on-chain games with thousands of actions, decentralized social media where you actually own your profile, tokenizing real-world stuff like real estate, and even high-powered AI applications, all running securely on-chain.
And this is the kind of scale that makes it all possible. The target is to support over 100,000 transactions per second across all those Layer 2s combined. To put that into perspective, that's more than enough to handle millions of daily users, easily rivaling the biggest platforms on the web today.
So when you put it all together, you take this cutting-edge technology and you combine it with that massive developer army we saw at the beginning, you get what you could call a pretty serious long-term advantage in a very crowded space.
This quote just captures it perfectly. The tech is only half the battle. The other half is the army of builders who take that tech and turn it into real-world stuff that people actually want to use. That's where the magic really happens.
And you can see this shift is already happening in a huge way. Check out this chart. Over 65% of all new apps are now being built directly on these faster, cheaper Layer 2s. The developers are voting with their feet, and they're showing us exactly where the future is.
So by combining this truly groundbreaking technology with the industry's biggest and most active developer community, the network is building an incredibly powerful moat around itself. Which leaves us with a final, really provocative thought to consider. By finally solving for scale, has Ethereum made its network effect not just strong, but truly unbreakable? And what does that mean for the future of the internet?
Please subscribe and like.